I'm very excited today because today is the day that my novel is officially out. I haven't spoken about it too much on this channel, but it is something that has been in the works for the past couple of years behind the scenes. Although I am a therapist and obviously I provide psychoeducation here on this channel, I am also a fiction writer. I also have been dabbling a little bit in nonfiction, but fiction has been around for a long time for me. And so I'm really excited to finally be able to share that part of my passion in life. The book is called The Curse in Their Veins. This is not what it's going to look like. It's not going to say not for resale. This is just an author spoof. I wanted to make sure that I have this video recorded the day that the book publishes, so I don't actually have an author copy yet, just a spoof. But I was really eager to get it out in time for spooky season because it does dabble in witchcraft, paganism, ghosts, fantastical elements, Jungian psychology, and so a lot of themes that I think people will probably want to read in September to October, but obviously I hope that you like it all year round. To tell you a little bit about the book, so it is about two Romanian sisters in a town who discover that there is a curse running through their bloodline that skips a generation in their family, and they also discover the powers of witchcraft and try to break the curse through that. One daughter is very sweet, meek, submissive. The other one has kind of a cruel streak. And essentially in Jungian terms, it's about integrating those two parts of ourselves, about integrating the shadow as well as the sweeter part of us. And it's also about breaking the shackles of narcissism, of breaking that intergenerational curse that has afflicted so many families across the world. So you might like it if you enjoy books that are about intergenerational trauma, especially intergenerational trauma that's caused by emotional abuse and heroines who break free of that cycle once and for all. If you're interested in the psychology of narcissism, I think this is a good book because it really goes into the mindset of how that is developed, so you get to hear a little bit more of like the therapist psychological piece. If you like to read about sisterhood and what I think is the very sacred relationship between crones and granddaughters, that's something very near and dear to me, so this might be a book for you if you like that. And also just about family belongingness in general and difficulties with family, being accepted in family, the importance of having an accepting family, or else kind of the banishment that happens to your soul. If you like books with paranormal and fantastical elements that showcase Romanian culture and pagan practices that are very much still preserved today in Romania, although some Romanians might not want to admit it. If you want to get a deeper look into how Jungian symbolism and psychology looks in a work of fiction rather than a work of nonfiction, hearing about things like the shadow self, collective unconscious, diving into your own personal unconscious, hearing about all those things but on a more symbolic level where it is a work of fiction rather than nonfiction. If you like all those things, this might be the book for you, so link in the description box if you're interested in it. But, no book is for everybody, and so I think it's important to also mention who this book is not for. This book is not for people who are offended by witchcraft and paganism. If that is your thing, don't buy it. If you're offended by undertones, I don't want to say it's like a huge theme, but it is definitely an undertone of female empowerment and women coming into their own power very literally and metaphorically. And if indirect mentions of physical abuse or intimate partner violence is a sensitive topic for you, I try to be very sensitive in the way that I explore these topics in the book. I don't get very graphic. The most graphic I get is emotional abuse, really, but still, if it's a sensitive topic for you, exercise discretion, do whatever you need to do to protect your state of mind. So I'm just going to read you an excerpt from it, and if you like it, you know where to find it. After the meal had warmed their insides, Baba Mihaela peered at Adela expectantly. It was time to speak of things that were gone, of things Adela had never said to anyone else. I didn't get to know my grandmother too much, she said. The archetype of the grandmother is one that we all recognize, replied the old woman, whether or not we knew our own grandmothers. Have you ever heard the story of the Kaliach? Adela shook her head. Baba Mihaela smacked her lips together, preparing to speak. The Kaliach is an old Irish goddess of winter, the most ancient grandmother there ever was. The Celt said she's the veiled one who can toss and overturn cliff sides with her pinky finger. She brings on storms that slice the land in half. She comes with the winter as an old veiled woman. A divine hag she is, so powerful that no man can match her strength. They say she's the grandmother of all grandmothers, this primordial force of nature. The first grandmother, Adela quite liked the sound of that. Old ladies always seem to know just what to say. They never held back their tongues, saying whatever they meant, even when it got them in trouble. This Cailleach must have been a wondrous creature. Adela could imagine her with leathery skin wrinkled all over, eyes sunken deep into her skull, fingers teeming not with frailty but with overwhelming power. There is beauty in winter, Adela, you understand? The Baba looked intently into her eyes. Even the shadowy half of the year has its place. Without it, life would lose its balance. Everything would spiral out of control. The Cailleach brings a necessary death. But when men decided that they were the superior sex, they tossed the Cailleach to the side. They rewrote the tales of her great strength. Instead of storytelling how she unravels the earth, they said the Cailleach was but a delicate old lady, hideous, weak, easily ridiculed by men and even boys. Adela blinked, enthralled. Why? Why did they rewrite the stories with her as the villain? Baba Mihaela chuckled. Why do they ever? Because of fear. When you are older, you will understand. Women of ancient age have nothing that can be used against them. They are rendered invisible, since men do not see their beauty. They have nothing left that can be robbed of them, nothing that can be used against them. An old, deformed woman of no reproductive value to men has only silent, invisible weapons, the mental utterance of an incantation, the thinning veil between her and the other realm. Because her weapons cannot be seen, they strike fear into the hearts of those who would wish her harm. That's what people do when they cannot take away a woman's power. They rewrite stories to portray her as the villain, making her seem weak and powerless when in truth, she's far from it. She may not avenge herself today, maybe not even tomorrow, but she knows time like the back of her hand, and one day when the time is right, she will use those weapons that they could never take away. So there you go. It is available in paperback, hardcover, and Kindle this time. So if you are in a place where Amazon does not easily ship, you can get the Kindle version. Let me know what you thought, and if you liked it, please leave a review. It really does help me so much. Thank you in advance. Happy reading. Happy spooky season.